Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. I do appreciate everyone who's checking in now and I appreciate everyone who's going to check in on the future. Today, I have a very special guest, someone I've been following for a little bit now. That is the original OG, the Passport OG. What's up? What's up, Passport OG?
Hey, what's going on, Dr. L? How's it going?
That's going good, man. I do appreciate you coming on to the show, man. Appreciate that. We are
No
looking
problem.
forward
No
to
problem. It's a
hearing
pleasure.
hearing your
It's a pleasure to
wisdom.
be here, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Wisdom.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's just straight.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be thinking about wisdom when I was a little kid, but I guess sooner or later you start getting this gray hair in your beard and people start looking to you for it. So,
We were just talking about that. We were just talking about that. You were absolutely right. Yes, I didn't think who would ever think that one day we'd be the OGs. You look around and it's like, everybody's looking at you for answers. Like, wait a minute, when did this happen?
us,
So
me.
I can
Yep. Yeah. That
yeah,
first number in your age starts ticking up.
it
You know?
does. It does. It does. Yeah. I'll be 53 this year, man. It's crazy, man. To think that. So yeah, yeah. So, Passport OG. Well, let me greet some people here. Rhonda Payne is in the building. Thank you so much. She is a ride or die there. She is very, very good. I call her my pit bull there because she always makes sure that people hits the like button on their way in. Yoli is the same way. Salute to both of them. Let's see who else is in the building. Accidental H30H3RO. Salute to you. Let's see, a couple more people saying hello. Uh, Detro0861, welcome, welcome. I'll be listening but not active. I don't know if I accept that, Yoli. You got to be active. We'll see how it goes, though. All right. Passport OG, tell us a little bit about yourself besides what we know from your name.
Well, I mean, I'm a black dude. I grew up in. I mean, I guess I'll dox myself a little bit. Grew up in suburban Atlanta, uh, and I had the opportunity in school to take foreign language Japanese. So during that time, I thought, well, and I did a homestay then. So that's kind of what got me into thinking about doing something overseas. Stayed over for 2 weeks in school, came back, finished up school, high school, college. And somewhere in my mid 20s, I started thinking about where I wanted to go with my life and all of that. So I kind of took the unbeaten path and decided to go overseas, and I've been here since. Been in Japan since.
Now, you said that I had to write some stuff down here. So, you said that you did a home residency program. Is that what you did? I miss
Well,
hear
you
that?
know how you have like a high school homestays where you go stay with a host family for a couple of weeks,
Okay,
and you
okay.
you get a kind of a chance to stay in the country for a while as a kind of, not a resident, but like the way that normal people would, as opposed to being a tourist. So I got that experience at what, 15ish, 16.
And you went to Japan? Is that where you went, or where did you go for
That's
that?
correct. That's correct.
Okay, you said, and
Yeah,
you
I
just
went
kind
to
of fell in love with the culture, I would assume, then, huh?
it was interesting, but more I wouldn't say fall in love with. I was curious. Like, I started thinking, well, what else don't I know about just existence in general? So it just made me really curious about the world outside of what I was used to. So
Okay, and that's a big point that I want to kind of press a little bit here is this idea about thinking outside the box. So you grew up in the Atlanta area, then you get a chance to go to um you go to get a chance to go to Japan. And what was that like for a black kid at your time at 16 years old? What was that like?
it was. I mean, it was amazing, awesome, incredible, daunting, scary. It was all of that. I mean, you see the movies about Japan and you're thinking maybe it's dangerous or maybe I won't fit in. And then you get there and you kind of realize, like, oh, they're people like us. They're just in a different environment with a different culture. That's all. I mean,
Mm,
we are much more alike than we think,
mm.
but we seem much more different than we are based on what the kind of culture that the content that we consume, or American media. Because I don't know. I guess there's some kind of vested interest in making people think that they're very different from each other, but Everyone has their food that they eat. They have their cycle. They have their hopes, their dreams. They want to fall in love, and they just have tweaks to their culture that are a little bit different. But pretty much, we have the same wants and desires as pretty much everyone else on the planet.
Mm. Who's this? Menelike Makaman. I'm probably butchering your name. Just like, where did I find Ice Cube from? have you heard that before? You look like Ice Cube.
Ice Cube? Yay, yay.
Yay, yay. You only had Ice Cube's money, right?
Oh man. You know what's funny is that when I was in high school, I was diehard Ice Cube guy, man. I loved Ice
Right.
Cube. And like
Okay.
I never thought that he turned into like the family, like fun movie guy. But I
Right,
mean, he
right,
was that dude in high school, man. So yeah,
right. Yeah.
I haven't heard Ice Cube.
Okay. Um, I was definitely a big Ice Cube fan. I was definitely a big Ice Cube fan. I remember like having these battles, like who was the best rapper on NWA. You
Mhm.
know, some guys would say Easy, and so I would always say Ice Cube. Like, no.
Ice
I'm like,
Cube,
okay,
Ice Cube.
okay. Then you find out that Ice Cube was writing his rhymes.
He's writing everybody's rhymes. Yeah. Here's what they think about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
man.
as a young kid, going over to Japan, were there people who tried to talk you out of it? And this is going to play into what we're going to kind of discuss here. The people try to talk you out of it. Hey, listen, don't go, or try to keep you in this little small box. Was that going on before you went over there?
Not really, because remember that was a really short amount of time. The better question is when I came the second time, there was a bit of trepidation from the people around me. I guess, like some people thought that maybe you're running away from yourself, or that you don't want to, I don't know, man up, I guess, or you're taking the easy way out, or those kinds of conversations were, I guess, kind of not really there, but kind of alluded to. But
Mm,
hey, man, we got one life. We got one life, and we live with the choices we make. And if I stay and things go awry, nobody's going to save me. If I leave and things go awry, nobody's going to save me. So either way, it's on me what happened. So knowing that is pretty easy to write off anyone saying you shouldn't do it for selfish reasons, because if it all falls apart, you're not going to come rescue me anyway. So if you want to come see me, they fly planes here every single day. So hop on a
mm,
plane, come see me, hang out for a couple of days, and it's like we never left. So
mm.
that's the way I see it.
Now, did you get a chance to travel to other locations besides Japan? Whether you were there when you were a kid, 16 or so, or even since then, and tell
Yeah,
us about any other experiences that you've had there.
sure. I mean, I've been to Thailand. I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Taiwan. I've been to Korea. I've been to a different couple of countries here. I haven't really traveled in the Western Hemisphere outside of America, but I've been to.
Mm.
I'm probably going to go to China this year. No, I'm not probably. I will. So I've been to a good bit of Asia. Yes.
And so, was it? Did you fall in love with the Asian culture? Is that what happened?
I wouldn't say the culture, but I think the way that kanji works. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Eastern Asian language. There's Taiwanese, there's Chinese,
Mhm,
Japanese. They use basically the same writing system. Japanese is a little bit different because they add some extra letters called hiragana, katakana, but they basically use the same writing system. And me I mean, I studied chemistry in school. It was just really unique how you instead of writing water for water, you write this kind of like pictogram, like this pictogram for water, and you pronounce it a certain way. And then every time that you say water or something related to water, you use that kind of sort of the way that we use Greek prefixes, suffixes, like Greek. Was it Greek and Latin? So like anytime you say like, what's a good one? What's a Greek suffix? Helios, right? Or helo, right? It means sun,
mhm,
right? So you say
mhm,
heliocentric. You say I don't know any other Helios words, but it's like that for the whole language. And so you can start doing like computations in your head, like water, hot, day, and you could put that together and say, would that word be this? And then this, oh no, actually, is this word? And you're like, oh, that makes sense, right? So
Mm.
it's the language kind of makes sense. It's like puzzle pieces. So if you're a kind of literal, logical kind of person, like a language like Japanese, Chinese is a very literal, like logical language, like typeset. This goes here, this goes here, and it's interesting. It's fascinating to me. So I get a
Okay.
kick out of that.
Okay.
Sound like a geek,
Okay.
don't
Very good. Nah, listen, you got to be open. You got to survive, right? You got to read. You don't want to walk into the wrong bathroom, so you got to figure it out, right?
Oh man,
uh,
you'll be surprised at how many people come over here and don't chili cheesesteak. You'd be surprised how many people come over here and do not learn any language. I'm like, you've been here for a decade and you're complaining about reading the signs. Like, come on. But
yeah.
it's that Western mentality that everyone's supposed to change and be like us instead of adapting and assimilating. So
Yeah. Thank you for that chitlin cheesesteak in the house. Served them up on the side of hopping
Jules, Jules, it's a
John fry. I
mess.
guess a hopping hot
It's a
fries.
mess.
I am just Jules. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the $20. I do appreciate that. Dr. Thunder's in the house. Salute to you. Appreciate you
Salute,
stopping
Dr.
in.
T. All right.
Let's see. High vibes here. Let's see. A couple more people. Salute to everyone in the chat there. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button here. Talk about your channel a little bit. Minister Misty says she likes your channel. She enjoys your content. Talk about your channel, why you decided to start it.
Okay. Oh gosh. I will give you 3 guesses as to what was my I was gonna say kikake. I'm sorry, I'm thinking in Japanese. What prompted me to start, but you what do you think made me decide to start my channel?
I think if you were to ask me, I would think it because you wanted to get the word out because there was some bad information going on concerning those black men in
That's good.
particular, yeah,
That's a good one.
who wanted to travel. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
That
I
would be my
saw
guess.
the reaction. I saw the reaction to Kevin Samuels passing, and I was like,
Oh,
I can't do it. I gotta say something. I just like I couldn't do it. Like I was a passive viewer of YouTube for the longest. And then you see that and like you see the celebration of this guy that's basically trying to save black family.
mm,
And it's just like, dude, no. Like you can't have well-meaning guys getting fed into a blender. Like you can't have it. So
mm,
that's my prompt. Is just the guy that I would have been if I had walked into a blender thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a good guy and I'll maybe marry a single mom and maybe I can love her," and then she 4 or 5 years in, she feeds me into the divorce court and she's collecting money off of my hard-earned whatever, and I'm left destroyed. That's a cycle that's repeating itself over and over and over again for well-meaning guys. They
mm.
can't have that. Can't have it. So that prompted me.
So between that conversation, or at least whether it was in your head about what was going on with the passing of Kevin Samuels, and you're going over, and this is kind of what the initial questions I was asking about. You're moving over to Japan, and people trying to stop you. Did you feel a mommying effect? Did you feel this? Come over here, stay here, endure it type of feeling when you decided to move? And do you feel that and obviously you feel some type of connection about what's going on in particular with black men in this passport bro movement?
Well, so my youth was a bit unique because I mean, I look, man, like you'll I have my dad is my hero, but I grew up in a family that some people said we were Cosby-ish like, but my mother passed when I was in high school. And so that's like that little hold on me that was like, oh, I have to live a certain life because of what the expectations of me that perished with her. So in a way it was a really sad like thing to go through as a early teen, but it was a freeing experience in that whatever I choose to do is going to be my choice. I'm not going to have to consider what my mom might think about it or pleasing my mother because I mean I have a picture of my mom on the wall. I mean, it's my mother. But when that dissipated, when that was not there anymore, then it was simply, it's your life. What are you going to do with it? And so I wouldn't say mommying. It wasn't mommying as much as it was. It's kind of like I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like if you've ever, I don't know, if you've ever like jumped in a pool before and maybe you've taken swim lessons, but you still feel the need to have the floaties on your arm, and then one day you said, you know what, the floaties are broken, or I don't have them, or you know what, freak it, I'm going to jump in the pool anyway, and then you figure out that you can swim. That's what it
Mm,
is. So
mm.
it changes your perception of the pool, right? Instead of the pool being a scary place, it becomes a, well, what else can I do in this pool if I'm not afraid of drowning? So that experience kind of changed my approach to just how I was going to live the rest of my life.
This brother says, Guy Incognito says you should have over 200,
God,
over 100K followers. I agree with
yeah.
that. I
Oh
definitely agree
man,
with that. Um, what?
more followers means more problems. So I'll take it as it comes.
Well,
But
we'll take the problems. So what is the experience like as a black man living in Japan? What is the experience like for you?
oh, what I like the best about Japan is that people leave you alone. Like people do not get in your business. They stay out of each other's business. Even if I bring my business to other people, they will have be very distanced in saying, "Hey, you know, it's unfortunate that you're going through that. So let's go get a couple of coffee, or let's have a beer together, and have a good time." They're not going to be the kind of people that say, they're not gossipy. So I appreciate that about Japan. People, I I like to explain Japan like a bento box. Have you ever seen a bento box?
Is that the secret kind of boxes, so you got to move stuff around to get
No.
inside of it?
It's the lunch. It's
Oh,
a lunch box where the rice is
okay,
in
no, I
one
haven't.
place, and then so like everything belongs in a certain compartment, right? The rice is in one space, your meat is in one space, your vegetables are in one space, your potato salad is in one space, and they don't mix together.
Okay,
It's the opposite of like a plate for Thanksgiving where your greens touch your rice and your rice touch your turkey and the turkey touches the yams, and all kind of gets kind of, you have bites that get mixed together, but you don't have that here. Certain things go in certain spots. And so as a, someone that may know me as, a friend or as an associate, they have their spot for me as an associate, and then they go back to the rest of their lives, and you don't really mix the parts of your lives together. And so that is something that's given me a good appreciation for how to deal with people without saying, I like you, I hate you, I don't totally rock with you. It's more, in this capacity, we have this relationship. And when I meet someone else in this capacity, we have a different relationship. So that's something I've come to really appreciate about Japan. It's not like, even like family, for say, you might think your family relationship has to be all positive. You all have to get along. Oh, a little bit of rocking here. That is a small quake.
oh, okay, okay, wow,
but
okay,
uh, but I'm used to it now. That's crazy. Say I'm used to earthquakes.
okay,
What is it? What's his
okay,
name? Western Totori. Upper five. Okay. Yeah, that's five earthquake in a little bit of ways. Totori is not too close.
okay. Well, close enough for you to feel, though. I mean, assume.
Hey, you feel it? Man, this used to freak me out. Not so much anymore, but yeah, just compartmentalizing your life is one of the things I've learned from Japan. Is that you don't have to have everyone in a "we're happy friends" box or "I hate you" box. It's just, if this business is business, if it's friendship is friendship, it's associates, and then you go on with the rest of your life.
Mm. Talk about any difficulties you've had in assimilation, whether it's learning the language, just getting around. Can you read Japanese? I believe you can speak it. I mean, talk about any difficulties that you've had, not only with learning the language, but just the culture in and of itself, getting used to this bento box, as you put it.
So the biggest problem, or the biggest issue I had, was being an American and not wanting everyone everywhere to be America. So you want McDonald's everywhere. You want people to act like what you're used to. You want people to change to what is convenient or normal to you. So just the idea that people didn't act a certain way, people didn't treat me a certain way, they didn't have certain things open a certain way. I had to get used to the fact that everyone doesn't live like Americans. So I had to learn to assimilate. And so eventually what happened is basically I just became two different people. I mean,
Okay.
I'm my English American manifestation and I'm my Japanese manifestation. So that pretty much helps me understand the world is not supposed to change to you. Well, they have a phrase in Japan called shoganai, right? It means it can't be helped. It's hard to translate it, but it basically means there are some issues that you can't do anything about. So you just acknowledge it as it is and you keep moving. You can't change it, you can't affect it. It's just what it is. And you have to accept that as an unchangeable aspect of life, and move your and live life around that particular fact that maybe you don't like or is very inconvenient, but it just is. And so I learned how to do that, deal with the things that I don't necessarily agree with, that don't like, and adjust my life around such things, right? So I mean, being being an American in Japan, you have to learn that a lot of people see foreigners as kind of a like a bull in a china shop, where they don't want to assimilate. They want to change everything into what they're used to. And knowing that, I had to understand, even though some people think this and I have to deal with this reset with every new person I meet, I have to accept it as it is, and deal with people on that basis. And that was a big hump to get over, because you get frustrated every time you meet someone. They're like, "Oh, your Japanese is so good." It's like, "Oh, you're so good at using chopsticks." And it's like, I've heard this
All
about
right,
1,500 times.
you broke up a little bit there. You when you meet another person, you have to do what? I'm sorry, you broke
Oh
up
yeah, yeah.
there.
You just like one of, because I remember, like, a lot of people don't meet a lot of foreigners, so they're like, "Oh wow, you're so good at using chopsticks," or "Oh wow," is you say like "konnichiwa," like, "Oh wow, you're so good at Japanese," and it's like a programmed response, because they don't really know what to say to foreigners in because they don't meet so many. So it's not personal. They just want to
Mm,
speak to someone and have something nice to say. So I took it personally when I first got here, thinking, why does everyone keep saying the same thing to me? But after a
mm,
while, you get it. So the
okay,
biggest thing was
okay.
me overcoming my preconceived notions.
How long have you been there now? Since how long have you been there now? Since college, you said, right?
2026. It's been 23 years. So
23 years. Okay.
yeah, so I'm not a passport bro. I'll say that first. I would say expat. I'm really not an expat. I'm an immigrant. But
Okay.
that said, d- dudes need to dudes need to go see the world, man. Go see the world.
Yeah,
We are global citizens. Like,
right,
we live on planet Earth, and one
right.
part of planet Earth is America, but it's not all of Earth. So why do we feel confined to one particular man-made, man-labeled region of the world, and say that we have to begin in our lives in that same region based on why?
Mm.
I mean, why? That makes sense to me.
How do uh how do the Japanese in general view foreigners, or in particular Black Americans? But how do they view them? Do they enjoy their presence? Are they mad because they're there? Are they thinking more of the bull in a China shop, or bull in a Japanese shop, that they just come through? These loud, boisterous Americans want to be pushy. What is their view of Americans?
So I'm going to give Theo Waff a shout out here, because he said this and it makes a lot of sense, right? You have like a 2-year grace period where
Mm,
if you're going to stay here, you're expected to kind of figure out Japanese culture and life and where your place is in it.
mm,
And after 2 or 3 years, because like a lot of people will say, why are you here? Did you come here for Gata? You want Gata? And like, me, I didn't come here for girls. Some guys do. But after that 2-year period, people are starting to question, like, why are you still here? Like, are you here because you want to start a family? Do you want to work in the Japanese society? Do you want to become a part of this, our economy, our the way we do things here? And if you don't, then you're really not going to fit in, and it's probably best that you leave. But if you do carve out a place and you kind of assimilate, then essentially the biggest compliment that people can give you in Japan is to treat you like you understand what your place is. It sounds strange to say it that way, but if you understand your place as a foreigner, you're not trying to disturb their way of life, you're not trying to change anything, you're trying to fit in as best you can, and people walk by you on the street and see you as just a regular person, that's probably the biggest compliment that Japanese people can give you, because all things considered, life for regular Japanese people is pretty tough. Like, they don't walk around happy, looking for happiness. A lot of life is, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and for this little bit of time, I get to do this. So if you understand that about Japan, and you fit in that way, people will appreciate that. Because a lot of people come here thinking it's a party and you're going to go to clubs and bars and have a good time. And that's something you do when you're young. But after that, when you start assuming responsibilities and family and all that stuff, you start eating crap, because that's just part of it. You have to eat it.
What is, and if you know this, in relation to the U.S., what is the cost of living? I mean, how does the dollar go, or how people are people able to make it? How's that work?
Well, that is a quite involved question, because Japan is relatively cheap to America, but inflation in America is red hot. So here
Yes.
it's a little bit less red hot, but it's still high. But you also have to remember, this is a country that, what, 80 years ago, it was flattened. So, like, if you talk to, like, the silent gens or the boomers here, they started from nothing. They had to eat a bowl of rice, noodles with butter broth and a sliver of meat if you're lucky, and that's your lunch. And so the older people are kind of used to that struggle, because they started from the struggle. And then you had the boom period going in the 80s and 90s of maybe I guess you can call them the boomers here, compared to maybe the silent gens, and they had that feel of just the rush of being rich. And then post the Plaza Accords and into the 2010s, it was a bit of nostalgia slash reality that didn't last forever. So it's compared to America, everything is cheap.
Okay.
So I mean, you're not going to get price gouged. You're not my rent is not going to quadruple in a decade. They won't allow that. That's not going to happen. So there's
That's
inflation and
actually
it's a little
encouraging
bit
to hear.
expensive. Yeah. I mean, it's not like completely unabandoned free market principles or price gouging. So people they're not going to be allowed to do that. But
Okay.
it's not cheap. So I'll say that.
Okay. And I don't even know this. Do you work, or do you just do full time, or I mean, what do you do for what do
Hey
you
man,
do for
I'm a
income?
man of I'm a jack of all trades, man. I
Okay.
do online sales. I have a job. I do stuff on the side. I mean, I do all of it. I got homework from Theo Waff. I got all kinds of stuff going on, man.
Okay. Oh, so
But yeah, of course I
you're
work.
enrolled in his
I'm yeah,
classes.
I'm
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm a permanent resident. I've got a daughter. She's in tennis lessons. Yeah, all kinds of
Oh,
stuff going
okay.
on. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. That's cool. That's cool. Can a guy on a retirement go over there, or maybe even a Social Security, making, I don't know, $2,500 a month or $3,000 a month? Can they live a good life over there, or how does that work?
$3,000 a month here.
Listen, I don't know. You're living like a king. Is that what you're saying?
I think the average income is here's like $2,800 2,800 or 280 mon, which is about 23,000, 25,000 ish dollars a year. So
Okay.
if you're bringing 3,000 US a month, and you can live quite well. If you don't live in
Okay.
like Tokyo, Osaka, you live somewhere that's a little bit more manageable, you can live very well on that.
Okay. Well, let me book my plane ticket here. So
Oh, you can live very well. I mean, my rent, I have a 2 bedroom in a 10-story apartment. I'm in the city, and I'm paying 7 mon. So you divide that by 150, it's about $500 a month. So
okay.
and my rent has been consistent for a decade and a half. Actually, it
Wow.
went down a little bit a couple of months ago. So yeah, but they have the opposite problem. You have to fill the units, right? You got to fill
Yeah.
the unit.
Yeah.
So you can't, if you jack up the prices and nobody can rent the apartments. You have empty units and everybody's losing money, right?
Absolutely. What is the so you're not a you're just what do you said you consider yourself an expat? Are you not a full citizenship, or how, what are your plans for that? To become a full citizen? You still
No, no, I
American
want to.
citizen?
I'm still American, man. I Listen.
Okay.
You cannot escape America. Okay, you can't.
Yeah.
Like if America wakes up tomorrow and says, "Passport O.G, we need you in custody today," what am I going to do? The
Mm,
embassy is a train ride away, and there's a military base or naval base. I think what 200 kilometers in one direction. There's an Air Force base a couple of 100 kilometers in a different direction. There's the big base in Okinawa. Like America's got tentacles everywhere. Like I'm American, man. I'm American. Like I don't see a reason to not be an American. So
Uh, but again, there's no pressure over there to become American, right? Because you talked about there's kind of a little bit of a after a 2 year grace period, and they say, okay, what's your
oh
plans?
no, that's
So
culturally.
okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Yeah, but like I
okay,
mean, I don't want to vote in their elections. No, no. I do not want to become a naturalized Japanese citizen. Absolutely not.
okay.
No.
Do a lot of brothers go over there and do that? Or my brothers, I mean, just people from other places.
Mm,
They all come over and
Not really. A lot of people get like a permanent residency, they get married, and that's essentially the same thing. But you have to change your name. I'd have to write my name in Japanese syllabary. I have to have kanji for it. I'd have to do a lot of different things, and I don't know if it's really worth doing all that just so I could be a Japanese citizen and not be an American citizen anymore.
there's no limit to how the permanent resident goes, or how does that work?
I mean, permanent residency is basically it's a visa that's renewed every I don't know every 8 years, every 10 years, or something like that. You just go to
Oh,
the
so
city
that's
office and basically prove that you're paying your taxes and paying into the health insurance, and you're not acting a fool here, and you're contributing, and they give you the stamp, and you keep it moving.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Um, so somebody put in here a little while ago here. Let me see if I can find it here. That Black Americans are fetishized. Are you fetishized over there, OG?
So okay, so I'm a bit older, so I'm out of my club going days. But
Mhm.
if you go to clubs, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're a bit athletic, you can maybe play sports, play some basketball or something. Yeah, it's gonna be there. Yeah, you're gonna run into some of that. Yeah, for sure.
The way you're smiling and say, yeah, yeah, trying to be humble about it, but
Oh well, I mean, it's we're different. We're different. I mean,
yeah.
we're different. So there's really no other way to say it. I mean, you have the Africans come over and they are like us, but we're not exactly alike because we're from America. We come from a different existence. So it's
My
different.
son, I can't tell the story online, but I'll tell it offline to you. He had an experience over in Japan, so I,
I bet
I
he
think
did. bet he
He
did.
had an experience. Yeah, yeah.
I bet he
Let's
did.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you did a video about this negative perception about passport bros. I did a one as well. You were in the chat, which I appreciate. Tell us about why you made it and what's up with this with your boy there, Anton, and and what
Well, I
your
mean,
thoughts are.
Anton, he is a great businessman and he has a presence on social media that I mean is worthy of respect. But when he chooses to punch down on guys that are basically expressing their liberty, their freedom to act on their own agency, it's just the same message that we've always gotten. It's just why would you not say, "Hey guys, go see the world, go live your life to the best of your desires and follow the laws where you are," instead of picking one or two rogue examples and saying this is all of y'all ends and y'all need to do better. It's like what kind of it's just it's tired and dare I say it's trifling because if we're supposed to be individuals and we do all this individual responsibility and you're supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all of this mess, then why would you say anything differently for guys going overseas and saying you're responsible for yourself? Why is it only when in this instance is every black man with a passport's problem when one dude does something crazy, but we come back to America and it's like, okay, let's work together so we all can be successful. It's like, no, you lazy in. You need to get off your whatever and do it by yourself. It's like that. I do not like double standards. Double standards drive me nuts, and so that prompted my video. Drives me nuts.
Let me play a little bit of your video that you put up here so we can get a taste for
Lord.
the frustration that you have. We'll play a little bit of it.
Could you sense
Let's
it in
see
my
here.
editing? Is that Rhonda saying there are a lot of Jamaicans. There are a lot of Jamaican women here. If you I'm not sure how guys feel about that, but a lot of I wouldn't say black women from the States, but definitely a lot of Jamaican and a lot of African women here because Japan is it's a very easy place to live. People will leave you alone, like I said earlier. So, I mean, Rhonda, if you want to come to Japan, I mean, they will be interested. They will be mesmerized probably by your hair. Like they'll ask a bunch of questions and they'll help you wear a kimono, all that stuff. So it's not like they won't say no, you can't come here. They're very welcoming of people that are curious about their culture.
Now, are the men? I mean, that's a big deal. We often hear that the men are, um, the black men are chased wherever they go. Are the women sought after just as much as the black men are? So, if
You
Jamaican
know,
goes to an American black, or will they be sought after by the Japanese men?
I mean, sought after. It depends on what you mean by sought after. Because so here's an example, right? I know a Jamaican woman who's married with kids, right?
Mhm.
But the guy she married is interested in Jamaican culture, right? Or at least I think he is. So there are a lot of examples. Like if you find a group of people that are interested in like your culture and you kind of socialize a little bit, you'll probably run into some people that are interested in you and your culture, and they might consider being serious with you. But just walking to the store and the random person, that's not going to happen. That's not how it works here. Like you need to get in a circle of people that are interested in something you're interested in and kind of network and then meet someone more organically. But absolutely, even yeah, I'm not just saying even black women can find a mate here. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not going to be
Okay.
like going to the club and finding somebody. Like the club is something you're going to do and like have a one-off, fun night or whatever. But like if you join a group of people that are doing something, yeah, for sure. And if they're interested in like reggae or Japanese or I'm sorry, like Jamaican culture, yeah, yeah, you'll braid their hair or whatever, and then they'll, whatever. Just they'll definitely dig that because there are a lot of people that are into certain pockets of Western culture for sure.
Mhm.
Jamaican hip hop, popping and locking, like ballet, all of it. So if you find a group of people that are interested in something you're interested in, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So is it safe to say that a large percentage of the population over there are enamored by Western culture? Is that safe to say?
I would say 15, 20 years ago, yes.
Okay.
Because remember, American culture was popping in the late 90s. Like, you had Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, you had Kobe Bryant, you have Mike Tyson. So, like, if you come here in like the early 2000s, it was like, oh my gosh, you guys are just amazing. But now nobody knows who Nicki Minaj is. They don't know who. I mean, what Soldier Boy was probably the kind of like the down coming down. Like nobody really knows. I mean, they know Steph Curry. They don't know any football players. Like so, like the people like that used to power that fascination with Black Americans. It's kind of waned. So, but that's a bit of the fault of American culture because American culture is kind of, I don't know, pop culture is kind of going the toilet, to be honest with you. So
yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. All right, let's play a little bit of your channel here.
We dibble and dabble a little bit, but you gotta come home. Come home. You degenerate ass passport bros. We're gonna go through. We gonna get our heart broke. We gonna have a hoe or two over here. We gonna like a white chick here or there.
White chick, a white woman.
Look what I got here.
I got a big dick. Thick, round, girth.
Hey, where are the white women at?
But you always supposed to come back home. Come home.
Anton trying to tell American men, at least, that they need to stay in America and do right by American women. And they know that American women are wayward, but you got to stay here anyway and fight the good fight.
There's a lot of guys that don't want to date American women anymore. Now, Europe, and you see old videos, European women, oh, you're so nice, you're so this, blah, blah, blah.
Wake up! Men love mean women. If you not mean, you gonna get used and abused.
Guys this is like the passport bro thing, where guys just say, I'm out.
Is that your baby?
That is, I'm sorry. My mom normally watches her. Well, Mom, can you watch real quick? I'm sorry.
What is your name, Carla?
Go with Grammy. Yes, my name is Carla. Go with Grammy real quick, Mama. I gotta run. Don't
Carla,
follow
where you
me.
calling from?
Don't follow.
You know, I'm going to like Japan, or I'm going to wherever I'm going, right? I'm going to Europe. I'm going wherever I need to go to get away from these toxic.
Guys, women are not cooking anymore. Women are not cooking anymore. My grandma does not cook. My mom does not cook. I don't cook.
American women. That's right. I said it. Right. That's right. I said it. Toxic American women. That are so full of themselves. They're ingrates. They're bashing you on social media.
If a man is at a big age and he's saying he never get married, it's two things, right? Either he's into men,
oh God,
or he's just a huge cheater.
They're like treating their husbands like badly behaved kids.
So Megan Thee Stallion said that Klay Thompson was the first man to ever treat her so nice and so kind. And it has sparked a conversation on Twitter of men talking about the tragic experience of being a woman's first good man. So I took it upon myself to royally piss off the men having this conversation and say, being a woman's first good man is the price that men pay for not holding their male counterparts accountable to be better and exiling the ones who refuse to step up. This wouldn't be a thing if more of y'all were good.
Guys don't want it anymore.
I'm so sad to hear her cry.
Not really.
But you always supposed to come back home. Come home.
Anton, men in the West, men in America, for Anton in specific, Black men in America don't owe Black women anything. But women have let you know they owe you nothing. And yet, y'all are talking like,
we don't like a white chick here and there.
Can you tap that white girl from me? Because you become sex tourists and then they say, well, don't dick police me. Nigga, don't nobody want a dick police your little penis. I got a big dick.
I'm gonna leave it out there. I was laughing so much when I swear.
Hey,
Somebody
man,
said
look.
Big Mo says excellent editing. I definitely give you credit for that.
Hey, listen, man. So I'm not the kind of person that comes out boisterous and say, I like beat my chest like the King Kong. I just see something and I say, oh gosh, I gotta do something, and I get the cutting and splicing.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, has that phenomenon happened to you where somebody has suggested you need to come back home or be with an American woman, or shaming you for dealing with Japanese women, or have you felt any of that type of animosity
Listen,
Anton has put out?
I can, in any time someone gives me that story, I can go back to my period of time before I left the States, and I can say that the girls that treated me the best weren't black women. They weren't. I mean, the girls that showed me the most interest they weren't black women. So if you're telling me that I owe black women something that I was not able to get until I at least procure a large number of resources, which obviously is hard to do in your early 20s, then you don't want me. You just want resources. So if that's the case, then it is what it is. But don't pretend that I was your first choice when I wasn't, because I know I wasn't your first choice. You wanted someone that was tall, that can dunk a basketball, that had Riz or whatever it was. And that wasn't me. So I'm not here for the shame. It doesn't work with me. I remember the girl or the girls that showed me interest and how they treated me, and I know what they looked like. They didn't look like, we didn't have the same skin color, put it that way.
Does the cultural ethnic image, in particular of black women and American women in general, does that is Japan aware of any of that? Japanese women, is it infecting them at all? Are they aware of this?
Kind of, sort of, but not really. Like, the issue is that in Asian cultures, a lot of people consume the same media, or the media is kind of like a bubble, just like in American media, right? So if a black woman, like say Meg Thee Stallion, doesn't enter that culture, then they really don't know who Meg Thee Stallion is. And this twerking or just this open hypersexuality is for a certain type of woman, and maybe they are aware of it, but like, just knowing, I mean, they know Beyonce, but I mean, do they really rock with the idea of just this turning dating into, I don't know, open kind of like, you owe me some money because I'm beautiful? I mean, on a certain level, but not the way that we see it. I mean, they're not singing Adina Howard, or I'm trying to think of the Little Kim. She wasn't that big here. I mean, it's not really, if they don't introduce Little Kim like on a certain show, most people here just basically aren't going to get to know who she is. So it's kind of how it works. You'll have some fringe kids that'll like be into watching American music. Excuse me, but there's like 2 or 3 programs where if they show up on that program, everyone's going to know who that person is. And I mean, quite frankly, if you're not Beyonce, I'm trying to think who would be big enough. Taylor Swift, you're not going to be on that program. It's just not going to happen.
What is the dating scene like over there? I mean, how is it easy to date? I mean, how is it? How do people court? Is there friction going on? Tell us about the dating scene over there.
You mean for foreigners to Japanese, or for between Japanese?
Well, both. Talk about first between Japanese and then foreign to Japanese.
Well, I mean, there's the elephant in the room, which is, in the past, if you're a tall white dude, you can come over here and basically, as soon as you get off the plane, just like pretty much anywhere in Asia, you can get a woman. The only difference, of course, is the woman that you can get now compared to maybe 20 years ago is quite different. As for black men, again, it's going to be the same thing. There are some women that will be interested in you simply because they're interested in black men. But are you going to go to the store and women are going to walk up to you and ask you for your autograph? No, that's not how it works. But if you go to certain places and you socialize and kind of stick out and you kind of, reach out to young people, yeah, of course, you'll do very well. Now, if you're talking about like marriage and getting serious, that's a Western modern societal problem, because even here you have I guess you call them the grass eaters, or just guys that are kind of reticent to take on all of that responsibility that comes with being a father and a husband, especially in an economy that's not as good as it used to be. And so even in the Japanese economy, you have men who are doing decent, but they're not making enough that they can have a woman and say, I'll take care of you, don't worry about it. And so a lot of women, they have their own money and they're kind of living their own life. So, it's similar. But if you're a guy and you want to find someone that you can spend some time with, I mean, if you're crafty and you poke around, you can find someone. It's not going to be that hard.
Has feminism hurt them the way it's hurt the West?
No, it's not the same. Feminism is an afterthought here, because the way that the society is shaped, like, you cannot have feminism without government sponsorship. So let's start there. You have to have the government saying, we're going to pay certain people extra money to make sure that we have a fair playing ground, because all things considered, if we have a construction crew and half of them are women and half of them are men, the male group is probably going to get more stuff done. Now, if it's like teachers or daycare workers, then the women are probably going to do a better job. But which are the jobs that are going to build your economy, that are going to support what you're trying to do going into the future, is going to be the guys doing the hard stuff. So if you don't have the government saying, we're going to subsidize single mothers, which no, none of that. We're going to have welfare. We're going to have like programs to help women that aren't married take care of kids and have more kids. Then you can't really have feminism without that. I mean, you can't. Imagine if tomorrow Section 8, WIC, all of that evaporated in an instant. Every single woman that's out there waving the flag of feminism is looking for a man, because she needs a man, not wants. So how does that work? So, I mean, you have some feminism, but it's really kind of a societal fit in your place. If you have a kid, you should be married. Or at least if you have a kid, make sure that your family can help you raise the kid in some kind of form or fashion that's prudent. But you're not going to get a $3,000 check every month because you have 3 kids. Like, that's not how that works. It doesn't work that way. So there are elements, I guess, of feminism, but say again.
Okay. No, I was going to say this today, but they do have some social safety net over there, some semblance of it.
Well, they have Social Security, but it's not going to be. You're not going to live high on the hog off of it. That's not going to happen.
Right. I got you. And obviously, the baby mama culture is not out the.
I mean, you have a few, but you got to remember, like, how tenuous it is when you have basically no government sponsorship to have a child by yourself. Like that reality has been removed from America for how long? Like, women really have the freedom of just being willy-nilly with their sexuality, and there kind of sort of aren't any repercussions from it besides the biological ones, which, I mean, technology has kind of wiped many of those realities away, right? So if you can have the baby and you could point at a man and say he's going to pay for the child, then there is no incentive to be responsible. But if there's none of that, and there's shame coming back, and you're a single mother, and we can't depend on you because if your child's sick, you might take the day off. So we might have to hire this woman who doesn't have any kids first, or any of that stuff. It's going to change the calculus. So it's not necessarily feminism. It's just, as single men in Asia, you're not competing against the government, what the government can give a woman and as a single mother. You're not competing against that. You're just competing against everyone else in this economy on the will of your, I don't know, your ability to produce or how smart you've gotten or whatever. But you're not competing against a woman that's getting X number of scholarship dollars, or a woman that can walk into the office and say, I deserve to get as much money as him because we work the same job, even if you're working, 15, 20 hours longer a week than she is. Like she has to work the same way that you're working. So if anything, that's shaped the way things are here, because if a woman gets into that spot that a man used to have, she's working as effectively as hard as a man, and they will not accept anything less.
Very good, very good. Couple of comments I want to get to here. When I was younger, I had a white street dude, maybe Wall Street dude, as friends. White Wall Street dude, I'm assuming. I even went to the club with a white wingman at one point. I can say with my whole chest that black men aren't the first choice of black women. Wow. Wow.
Certain guys.
I think there's some data that bears that out, right? Some dating app data that bears that out as well.
Sisters.
What's that?
Williams sisters.
Well, I think Serena did try to date some brothers. Serena did. I got to give her some credit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's see.
I mean, that's your choice.
Anton has said many times that he has never been outside of the U.S. The fact that he has such a strong opinion on something he knows nothing about is weird.
It is weird. It is strange.
Yeah. And again, when I did my breakdown of it, this brother had, at one time had an open mind about it, and then he just completely flipped.
Well,
which was
I don't know. I don't know how many like people have reached out to you for like sponsorships, but one of the reasons why I'm really reticent about just doing any of that is because there are so many people that will bend what they say to get a couple extra dollars. So the question I ask myself is, how much more important is that couple of extra dollars than the fact that you can just be authentic? Because authenticity is increasingly rare, and to be honest with you, I think is increasingly more valuable. So the more willing you are to stay authentic and say, hey, listen, that extra money might be cool, but I don't want a commercial limit in my video. I don't want to limit certain things that I say, or I don't want to try and grow my audience in a certain way. So what if I stay at 100 or 1,200 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers for the next 5? So what? Like, my voice is here. It stays the same. It is what it is. And I do the rest of my stuff offline, like my regular life. Because, I mean, what good is it if someone starts out as an authentic voice, which I'm sure that a lot of people watching Anton think, oh man, he's authentic. And then he grows into something, and basically he turns into a guy who's grabbing for dollars. Then basically you're the same YouTuber as everybody else, and then you're looking for the next authentic YouTuber. So I hope he finds what he's looking for. I don't know what it is, but just there are enough people reaching for dollars, man.
I definitely agree with that.
Dollars in the free market. Just don't do it here. Like, be your presence here, and then go get the money somewhere else.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that, and I have not done the sponsorships exactly for that reason, because I want to maintain some level of autonomy. Yeah, so I can definitely agree with that. But in the meantime, y'all can still hit the cash apps and stuff. I would appreciate that. Let me put that on the screen here. Let's see here. There's let's see, MAB experience, new to the channel, subscribed. Salute to Dr. L, Passport OG in the chat. Welcome. Thank you so much for that $9.99. I do appreciate that. Let me see here. There was another question I wanted to ask you. I think it was in the chat here. I can't remember. Here's one by Guy Incognito. Is the female prime minister over there accepted?
So you got to remember, like, she's kind of like the Japanese, like Margaret Thatcher. She's like, oh man. I mean, we call Hillary Clinton a Democrat, but Hillary Clinton is kind of center. I think she's closer to center right than she is any kind of liberal. So she's that. So there, I don't speak on the politics here. So I will preface this by saying this is not what I say. This is what people I've spoken to me have said. They're not very happy because to be hawkish in this economy, in this situation, it's just not what a lot of people were hoping for. And I'm talking about older Japanese people that have basically retired and they're relaxing, or even people that are in the workforce that are kind of saying, what are we really doing here? So they're kind of like, do we really need like female Donald Trump, or woman Donald Trump, that's stirring things up with China when China can snap their fingers and double the price of everything in our country? Is that really what we're trying to do here? So that's not my words, by the way. So, but a lot of people have those sentiments. So
Landon Dallas says, by white street guys, I mean white guys from lower, almost criminal economic background. Yeah, and that's definitely something that we've been trying to deal with here. Yeah. So, which is, I guess, is kind of frustrating. But as you mentioned, that you grew up and you weren't seen as the select guy, right? I mean, so these women are not just passing guys over for the white guy from Wall Street, as I thought he was saying, but even the white criminal element as well, which is a frustration to us.
Just regular dudes, regular schmegler dudes that basically are the same dude that you're sitting next to, and you watch them walk by you and they fawn over the same guy. And it's like, okay, well, if this is the game we're playing, then you can't say anything when guys get a passport and go somewhere where that some woman somewhere else is doing the same thing to him. Why would he stay here and deal with you when he knows he is your second, third, fourth choice if you're lucky, and he can go somewhere else where that woman is going to see him as her first choice? It's only fitting. So play responsibly.
Play responsibly. Yeah. Let's see. There was another question here. Yeah, y'all get the likes up. Get the likes up. I do appreciate everybody saying that here. Tell us about your process, man. You gotta. How do you come across your processes while making videos? You see something that just kind of grabs your attention, or do you think things up at 2 a.m. and just write it down? Or
okay. No, that's not it. So I have a lot of. I like to think of myself as a jack of all trades, right? I'm not super good at any one thing. I'm kind of like I guess an Allen wrench. What's a good example of a tool that has multi-purpose tool? I guess whatever. But I liken a lot of my ability to be the guy I am to waiting tables. Have you ever worked at a restaurant waiting tables?
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know
I
how
think
crazy it is
one time.
Like, you know how crazy it is when like you messed up the order, the kitchen messes up the order, or someone changes their mind halfway through ordering, or the restaurant gets suddenly busy. You can't think in a straight line. You have to piece it all together, and you kind of have to make a ton of micro decisions all in real time, right? So I think when I see a video, I'm thinking, what can I tie this to, and what does this fit with? And sometimes it's kind of this beautiful mess of mishmash. Like, oh yeah, I remember this from so and such, and I think about this idea when I was this, and it makes me think of this, and I kind of tie certain things together because it's like waiting tables where, you it's the randomest idea that makes you think, oh yeah, this person ordered pink lemonade. And it might not have anything to do with pink or lemonade. It's just something crazy. And so that kind of, if you get used to doing something as crazy as waiting tables in a busy restaurant, a very high-end restaurant, or I worked at Papa Dough. I don't know if you consider it high-end or not, but it did get crazy in there. And like, you get used to that. It's a way of changing the way that you write. So effectively, I'm writing essays. Instead of writing an essay with, today I'm going to talk about this, and this is going to be interesting, I start the essay with interesting idea, and then how I work around that idea.
Very good. We talked about your prime minister there. Let's get back to foreign policy here. U.S. just liberated. I don't know what they're calling it there about Venezuela there. What is the Japanese response? What are the thoughts? Have you heard anybody talking about it? What is your thoughts, and what is the thoughts of the country there?
A lot of people here, they take a deep breath with Trump because they don't really know what he's going to do. They don't really know what his end goal is, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know how freely I feel about talking about that, but I'll say you're a country that 70, 80 years ago, you lost the war and America stayed. So they have the bases everywhere. Like your foreign policy is basically their foreign policy. And there are a lot of people here that are kind of like, when do we get past this? Like, how long is this going to go on for? Is this going to go on into perpetuity? And I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying what is. So a country that went from being its own individual country to one that's kind of dealing with military bases, and every so often, you know, they say, if you want our protection, you got to pay even more money to maintain these bases when the standard of living is not as high as it used to be. You know, people start kind of getting restless and hemming, hawing and saying, what is the end goal here? And so a lot of people think that maybe that China and Japan like don't like each other, but it's really, you got to think about normal people, like the normal person, maybe even during the war, the war here would be World War II. They didn't have a choice. Someone knocked on your door and said, hey, you got to go. You got to do what you're told. That's the way it worked. So there are people that probably deep down say, it would be better if we weren't in this position, but Shogunai, like I said earlier, and you do your part. And so here's the back end of that. And I think people won't necessarily openly express that they have dismay with this situation, but I mean, they can't really do anything about it. So that doesn't mean like or dislike. It just means if something better comes along, I'll support that. But until then, just you grin and bear it. I mean, it's not I support Trump, I love Trump. It's you get some of that, but you kind of starting to get a groundswell of we want to be our own country again, which is understandable.
All right, you broke up there. You said they do want to become their own country again. Is that what you said?
Oh, without a doubt, there was one lawmaker. He was in the Diet, and he basically said, like, he was saying to the prime minister, why won't Russia give us this sliver of land that used to be ours back to us? And he basically said, because the minute that they do that, America's going to put a base there and you can't stop them. Like, we're not our own autonomous country. He said this. We're not our own autonomous country. We're a colony. He literally said this in Japanese. We're a colony. We can't get the land back because as soon as we get it, America's going to say we're going to put a base there, and Russia's not going to allow a base there. So that's why we can't do it. So that sentiment is here. So how it's expressed, I don't know. It gets very complicated, but I mean, imagine if someone came into your house and built a room in the corner and said, I'm going to come in this room and come in and go out anytime I feel like it. And you're paying for the house. Like you sometimes you're going to say, well, you do help protect me, but sometimes you're going to be like, I don't know how I feel about you being here. And that's a lot of countries for the last 70, 80 years. So
yeah.
How do you square that circle?
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Before we got on, we were talking about beards. So I was saying I was gonna trim mine down a little bit, kind of V it out a little bit there, but
Don't do it.
I kind of chickened out a little bit before we started there. So before I started cutting it. So, but yeah, man, I got to thank my mother for this beard, I guess. So
you put an Afro sheen on it, or what do you treat it with?
I actually make my own. I just went on YouTube, found some different beard oil and beard balm recipes, and just kind of put them together. And then I throw some oils, some scented oils in them.
Fruits and berries.
So fruits and berries, nothing but fruits and berries. Yeah. I put no chemicals, only fruits and berries. Yeah. I made a reference to this somebody the other day about coming to America, and she didn't catch it. I was so mad. I was mad. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you not catch this reference?
We're really lucky because I think like maybe our parents, the boomers, they were in like maybe Pax Americana economically, but we were Pax Americana culturally. Like we had like those movies like Coming to America, Star Wars, like Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan. Like we had that. Bo Jackson. That just these people that just transcended America. And you know, if someone comes to America, comes to Asia, right, and some random person just says, "Hey, Kobe Bryant," you're like, why would you associate me with Kobe Bryant? It's because he's such a transcendent idea that doesn't get replicated anywhere else. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, we don't have that anymore. But it's one of the unique things about being from that era is that we had those great cultural references that tied us together, really. And these kids, nobody's listening to the NBA YoungBoy. Like, what? I don't. Nobody. It's like a couple 100,000 people listen to NBA YoungBoy.
Listen, I think all these rappers today are trash, and my kids keep telling me that they're not. I'm like, they're trash. They're trash. How do you?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, how do you keep up with culture? I mean, do you have Netflix, or I mean, how do you keep up? Just with YouTube? How do you keep up with any different movies, things like that? How do you keep up?
Well,
is it pretty much the same?
The only movies I watch. Pretty much only movies I watch is when I'm on Dr. T.S.N. Johnson's Patreon. Like,
okay,
he'll introduce a movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was thinking about watching this movie. He'll commentate through it, but I mean, I don't have time, dude. I mean, I'm learning Chinese. I got work. I got stuff. I mean, my daughter. I mean, I can tell you about 15 K-pop groups. But
okay.
But
how old is your daughter? How old is your daughter?
She's 14, 15. She turns 15 this year. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So she's I know all of the Blackpink, Stray Kids, all of that J-pop, K-pop stuff. Like that's her. So she put the video on YouTube and she'll be dancing along with the videos. So, they just basically took New Edition and said, since y'all aren't going to do boy bands anymore, we'll do it, and took over the play.
I was just about to say that. I saw an Asian YouTuber saying that this is really just Black culture. A lot of the K-pop groups are just Black culture, which I appreciate them saying that, So, but yeah, if we're not going to do it, we're going to put out garbage. Y'all might as well pick it up,
Yeah, I don't know what happened in the late 80s. We got off of that. I mean, it's simpish music, but still good enough music, like Boyz II Men, like the groups of people singing songs. We just took that and threw it all completely away. I mean, dudes aren't even barely singing now. And it's just, it's unfortunate.
It's definitely unfortunate. We get to some of these super chats here. I don't want to clean up after Pookie and Tyrone. Yeah, none of us do. And that's a big complaint that a lot of brothers have. They don't want to do that, right? And thank you for that $2 there. D Cold Jenkins. The coldest Jenkins. I like that name. Let's see. Java Joe, Passport OG. I've been following you from the beginning as a fellow polyglot. I've always appreciated your articulation and representation of the culture and your perspective as a Black American living outside the U.S. Thank for the collaboration, Dr. L. Yeah. How do we get more brothers to think outside the box like you have? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm not a polyglot yet. So 2 languages, I don't consider that polyglot, but I don't think you really know yourself until you speak a second language, to be honest with you. Like there's something that happens cognitively when you have to rethink your ideas in a different way. And you have to produce yourself or demonstrate yourself in a way that you haven't done the way you were born. Because it's easy for me to say, hey, what up, though? how's it chilling, cold slice or whatever. I'm being facetious here, but like that, if that's what you grew up knowing, and you never challenged that, then that's much different than I meet someone here and I'm sorry, I'll speak a little Japanese. I meet someone here and say like, I was about to use Japanese, Chinese, so like, 初めて会ってもう知らないんですけど、もしかしてよろしければ、今の時間教えてくれませんか? Right? Like that's being super, super nice. Like, could you please tell me the time? I've never really spoken to you, but like, I wouldn't think that way in English. I would never say, if it's not too much trouble to ask, and I know it's a lot of trouble, but could you tell me what time it is? Like that thought process is completely different than it is in American English. So once you understand you could do both, then it changes the way that you interact with people in America. So a good example, right, is like think about road rage, right? A lot of times people take road rage personally. Like this person said something to me, so I got to give it back to them. And, sometimes it just doesn't end anything well or anything good. But if you take a step back and say, that's just them communicating in their American way that I'm very frustrated with my life. I'm very unhappy and I need to take this out on somebody. If you see it that way, then your response could be, you know what, you go ahead and go first. This is okay. I'll be 10 seconds later than I would have been normally, and my life will keep going. Like that's not a very American way of looking at it, but it's a more wholesome way of thinking. Maybe their life just sucks, and maybe being in front of you is just the little thing they need to not lose it. So go ahead, man, you got it. But that's not something you're going to learn in America. I can tell you that. America is going to say, meet force with force. Don't let nobody X, Y, and Z, or you a punk. It's like, So, learning other languages, you understand, like sometimes it's.
But it sounds like that drives the culture. What you brought up is an excellent point, because it sounds like it drives the culture. Remember when Anthony Mackie was talking about how he took a trip to Africa? That was the actor who played Falcon. He took a trip to Africa, and he noticed that they didn't have the masculinity of American men. And it just shows you the brazenness, the bravado, or whatever we would call that here, is really kind of seen as obnoxious in other places. Your speech there really kind of showed that we take that other places thinking, okay, this is the way to be, and other folks don't necessarily like that. Am I wrong? Or
well, I was talking to a guy he's a big baseball fan, right? And I don't know if you know the SoftBank Hawks, but they're basically the richest team here now, because SoftBank they're the big dog. They got all the money now, not the Yomiuri Giants, right? And like 1 year, they won the championship, but they didn't win their division. So like they won kind of like as the outsider, like the kind of what do you call it? The wild card. And I remember him talking to the guy and was like, aren't you happy about the championship? But he said, yeah, but we won the wrong way. And I was just bouncing around in my head for a long time. Like, what do you mean win the wrong way? What does that mean? Like, how do you win the wrong way? What does that mean? And then I understood, like, and I coached basketball here for a long time. There's a right way to win, a right way to lose, a wrong way to win, and a wrong way to lose. And so there are 4 outcomes in every match, not just 2. So, sometimes you play a match and you guys play really hard and you just barely lose, and you lose with grace. Is losing but winning. Or like if you play really hard and you have really bad behavior and you yell at the refs, you win but you lose. And like that idea is so foreign. So you're asking like an example of that is when you see a different way of looking at what winning is. Why does my winning have to mean that I have to make sure that every other person in the room has to lose? So it's just a different way of looking at it. It took time for me to wrap my head around it, because it's so different from what I'm used to, where I can remember one particular match. Like I had a group of young kids. None of them had ever played really organized basketball, giving me 9 months with them, and they really can't really pass and dribble just yet. So basically, the best athlete is doing pretty much everything except passing and shooting, whatever. But on defense, like they are really energetic. They play really good man-to-man defense. And I remember after the game, several people come up to me and said, "Man, you did a really good job with those kids, even though we lost." And so it's a win, but it's a loss. And like that's an idea that it just doesn't translate in America. It just doesn't. So I think when guys get more experiences outside of that bubble of American think, that tells you that there are more ways to think, it's not just going to make us better people, but it's probably going to make us better businessmen, better fathers, better able to work with each other, because we're not going to take everything so personal. We're going to be able to see the bigger picture, which is, I mean, that if that's Asia in a nutshell, it's the group matters more than me. That's Asia.
That summed it up very well. And as you were speaking, I was thinking about this present administration and their me first, their our might makes right, our way of doing things. I don't want to get sniped here, but you know that's exactly what's going on here. You know, and it comes down to culture, the frame of thinking, and how we set up the way we want to live. And as long as you're thinking about yourself first versus the group, then we're going to continue to fall down in these different rabbit holes here. So that was important. I want to thank Unity is strength. Black men traveling is not an issue. We just need to keep our moves off open platforms, discuss our travels, tips, experiences in private forums, respect brothers, stay safe, stay united, stay mindful. Give us your thoughts about how we get more Black men into thinking, into traveling and thinking outside the box, whether it's the thinking you talked about or just travel or just another besides the Democratic Party. Just how do we get men to think in these terms?
So you had the super chat a little ways back about being the polyglot, right? Learn a second language.
Oh yeah.
Learn a second language.
Okay.
Like people can say what they want to say about me. They can have their ideas of me. As soon as I open my mouth here, they say, "Oh, this is a different guy. This is a different beast here." So I give it a good example is when people understand that you speak their language, they speak differently around you. They don't gossip the same way. So yeah, polyglots more than four? Woo!
Is it? I don't know. I thought it was 3. I thought polyglot was 3, but okay.
I'll try 3, man. Chinese is hard, dude.
Yeah. Is it? Is it?
Well, I mean, it's hard because English is not a tonal language, right? So imagine if I was saying, "Hello, I am coming to you from Japan," and it is like that is tonal. So imagine trying to go from speaking flat to speaking up and down with 4 or 5 different tones. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah. I did hear that about Japanese. You got to speak it from your diaphragm or something, right? Yeah.
Well, Japanese is actually not tonal. It's just the grammar is an SOB, but Chinese is tonal. So
okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. I speak fluent English, and I'm working on Spanish. I'm pretty good at Spanish. I can actually understand the conversation, but I can't arrange the words in my head, right? So if somebody's talking in front of me, I can usually figure out what they're saying.
Yeah, but it's really similar. You just have to put that part of your brain to work, because the Romance languages they're very similar. So I think they say it's 900 hours from English to Spanish, and it's like 2,500 hours of English to like Chinese and Japanese. So that's a long ways apart, but you can get there. Yeah. When in Rome, go and eat the go and eat the guy.
Let's see. I just want to get through some of these comments here. Here's another one here. Do Chinese develop subculture slang being a minority class in Japan? That's a good question there. By Landon, thank you for that $5.
I wouldn't say it maybe not really Japan, but they have like their regional dialects. But Japanese do too. I mean, so I wouldn't say that they have like a subcultural slang in Japan more than they just have their ways of speaking in China, and they use that when they come over here. So
what is your what do you got coming up next for your channel, for you? I know you're learning Chinese. What else is going on in the OG's life?
Well, I mean, we got Armageddon going on with Theo Waff, so he's got us spinning up RDS databases and trying to use trying to use language that maybe everyone can follow, a web-based compute system to access that remotely with certain credentials that everyone can't do. So I'm doing that. I got a Chinese test on the 25th. I'm gearing up for my daughter to ramp up her tennis for the summer tournament. So the channel is just kind of like something I do. I do, as one of the many things I do. But yeah, it's going to be.
Is your daughter talented? Is your daughter
she's been
talented?
playing since she was just 4 or 5. So
okay, are we going to see her? We're going to see her at Wimbledon. It'll be the next.
We'll see. Tennis is a very exclusive sport, as you can see with the Williams sisters. So
yeah.
So I mean, she's got talent. She's got some talent. She got to get serious, and she's competitive.
Now is the time to break through, though, right? 14, 15. That's the time to break into it, right? I mean, well, to really start winning some tournaments. This is the time, right? Isn't this now?
Well, this is kind of the time where if she's going to make the jump, she needs to.
Right.
But she serves the ball so much harder than the other girls that.
Okay.
So she has a definite advantage there. So.
I think it'll be a little bit humble. I'm expecting to see her in Sports Center pretty soon. There, I think.
Oh man,
how would you handle that, OG?
Hopefully.
Okay. All right, man. I appreciate you coming by, man. I definitely do, man. So
no worries,
much blessings to you, to your family, to what your daughter's got going on, to you, to the channel. Your Chinese tests and all that. Are you just doing that for yourself, or are you doing that because you want to go there for an extended stay, learning Chinese, or what's up?
Come on, man. This is 2026. Like, I'll say this about national geopolitics. You can say whatever you want to say about what happened in Colombia, but that reeks of desperation. And the desperation is saying basically, whoever the big dog is going to be is not who it was. So we have to prepare for a world that's going to be very different than the world that we grew up in. So part of my language study is that, because if I want to buy something that's produced somewhere, I know where it's produced, and it's not Detroit. It's not Cleveland.
It ain't Detroit. You're right.
We're not Detroit. Right. We're not Detroit.
Man, thank you so much for coming by, man. I really hope that people, in particular Black men, are inspired by you to think critically, think outside the box, learn a second language, explore the world that they live on. I appreciate your comment about we are citizens of Earth first. And if we could really understand that, particularly those in the White House and adjacent, if we can understand that we are citizens of Earth first, we could probably, solve a lot of problems. But certainly for Black men who have been held back, have been held down through a number of years, and you and I are the first generation to be born with our full rights and enforced by the U.S. government. And so we are now going to enjoy this life that we have and enjoy what we got going on. So yeah, to all the brothers out there who want to get a passport and travel, go ahead and get a passport and travel. Don't worry about what anybody else is saying. Don't worry about haters, especially YouTubers with the initials of A and D. So with that, we'll leave it off.
Hey man, what is it? The Mad Professor, BMI 3000. He says Black Male Independence, Black Male Agency. Like, this is the first time in our lives, our fathers probably don't even feel comfortable doing some of the things we are able to do. We can decide our own fate, wherever it may be. We are not relegated to a small group of women in America. And if we look at a certain woman outside of that group, we have to worry about trees and stuff. We're not of that generation. We're of the generation that basically you can go do what you want, where you want, with whom you like. And there are some people that have problems with our newfound freedom. So whose problem that is, I don't know, but it's not mine. It's not my problem. So guys should feel comfortable in saying, listen, it's my life. And if things go, it's my life and things get tough, I'm going to bail myself out. But if I don't bail
You laughing
myself
at this one?
out, yeah. You're not going to come bail me out. So why do you even care? You just want me for resources? No, absolutely not. No.
Right. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much to I Am Just Jules, a guy incognito, the MAB experience, guy incognito again, the coldest Jenkins, Java Joe, Unity is Strength, and Landon Davis. I appreciate all you guys for hitting us up. Thank you so much to Passport OG. We will see you guys again. Guys, get your passports and travel and looking to land in the business, investing and all that kind of stuff. We'll leave it off of October's there. Think about it. Make sure you hit the like button. Go over to Passport OG's channel. Give them some subs. Give them some likes. Hit them up. Much love and peace to all of you all. Take care.